Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new segment that I'm going to call Meet the Colleague. Labas rytas, Kristina, kaip tu sekasi?
Laba diena.
Laba diena.
Hi, Aggie. Everything
hi.
is perfect. Thank you so much. That was lovely to hear Lithuanian language.
Thank you so much. Ačiū. That's
You're
right.
welcome.
So, Kristina McTaggart is our today's guest. She is an NRPSI registered professional English to Lithuanian interpreter. And today, Kristina very kindly agreed to take some time out of her incredibly busy schedule to talk to us about the Diploma in Community Interpreting, the so-called Level 6 DCI. Before we get on to that, Kristina, why don't you tell us a bit about yourself? Where are you based? What are your specialties? So we can get to know you. Thanks.
Thank you, Aggie. Good afternoon, everyone. I think it's Dzień dobry.
Dzień dobry. Yes, very good. Very well. Yeah, it is Dzień dobry.
It's a pleasure to be here today with you, Aggie. As Aggie already mentioned, my name is Kristina McTaggart. I'm Lithuanian language interpreter. I've been practicing interpreting since 2012. I hold level 6 DCI, is law pathway. And I'm also an RPSI registrant. I have a paid registration. I also hold NPPV3. I think like everyone else in enhanced DBS and security clearance. I'm also a member of IT Association of Interpreters and Translators. And in September last year, I was appointed to be one of the directors of this amazing association.
Oh, congratulations. That's wonderful.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. I'm based in Northeast. Usually work with various agencies, hopefully respectable ones, I think, as we all want to do. Always it's a lot of jobs coming through NRPSI. I won't lie that, some good clients would find you. And I am interested in crime documentaries. Just a little bit more about myself. I have a keen interest in police work and investigations. And that's why probably was the reason will be next question why I chose DCI.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much for that. Let me ask you, what is DCI, just in a few words?
DCI is Diploma in Community Interpreting. There is level 3 in Community Interpreting, and then the upper one there is level 4 thing as well. But DCI is the highest from Community Interpreting. So where you can choose a law pathway, and I think some of them they do health pathway as well. It's equivalent to DPSI. If you're choosing the DCI law pathway, it will be equivalent to DPSI law. Or if you will choose DCI Health, it will be equivalent to DPSI Health. And that's about it, I think.
Okay. And in one of my first episodes, I've mentioned about the DCI, which is a great option for those of our colleagues who are perhaps less keen on the exam only format of the DPSI and formerly DPI before it was withdrawn. So tell us a bit more, what does obtaining the portfolio or the assessment-based DCI qualification looks like from the point of view of someone who obtained it?
Yes, like Aggie, you mentioned, it's portfolio-based. So it consists of 3 units, DCI course, and every unit has their own modules. So, for example, Unit 1 is, it's the main ones, is mandatory units or modules, which cover essential skills and knowledge needed for an interpreter at level 6, including consecutive, simultaneous interpreting skills, sight translation, ethics knowledge, and application, continual professional development, which is CPD, practices and knowledge of common interpreting technology. So that would be the Unit 1, where you need to prepare like assignments, assessment, I think, and assignments mainly, because it needs to be written assignments.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Unit 2 is whichever you're choosing. This is because I've chosen law pathway. So Unit 2 was consisted of court, police, prison, and probation. So that could be there were 3 assignments as well, written assignments. So where you needed to compare both countries. For example, I'm from Lithuania, so I needed to compare English and Lithuanian justice system and how it works. And Unit 3, it was written draft translation, so from and into English. So for each of those units, you need to do research and then write the assessment. While writing assessment, we needed to follow the assessment criteria to pass it. For example, in consecutive interpreting assessment, criteria was some of it. I'm not going to go through all because it's a long
Of course, of course.
process. But it's just to have an idea. For example, it's like to analyze the use of consecutive interpreting techniques and when they are appropriate, analyze key stages of the interpreting process in different contexts, for example, with reference to the introduction, the meeting, the conclusion. And then obviously you need to analyze and critique your own performance when using consecutive interpreting techniques, identifying your development actions, i.e. what you're going to do, how you're going to change it, whether you're going to choose different terminology and so on. So, like I mentioned, each module would have this kind of written assessment where you need to follow all the criteria. The criteria is usually provided by the school or whoever is the course provider. And then the tutor obviously mark and give you advice where to improve or if it met criteria.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. So am I correct in understanding that there is a lot of reading, research, and writing involved in this course?
Yes, that's correct.
And how long does the course last? Is it open-ended, or do you have to submit the work at a particular time? How does that work?
The course maximum is giving like 12 months. It's obviously it's flexible, but because of the amount of modules you need to do and assignments you need to write, so those 12 months just enough to do all this, and obviously then you need to do all the rest of like role plays and the written draft written exam. But I would say, as far as I remember, I think I had about 10 assessments. So I would say, you should give like for certain assignment, you would give a month to prepare and present. And then while you're waiting for the results, you're already doing the other assignment.
Okay.
And trying to move on. So some of the modules would go for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Some of them would last for months. It depends on how much time you can give to that module, obviously. Yeah, so you need to be good at timekeeping with that.
Okay. And which school did you sign up to do the qualification?
Obtain my qualification through ISL, which is International School of Linguists.
Okay. And you've mentioned tutors. Can you tell us a bit more of how that works? I am guessing that the course is obviously remote, so you do everything from your own home. So what does tutor work look like?
Yeah, I mentioned tutors. Is when you sign up for this course, you actually allocated a tutor. The tutor will get in touch with you and they will send you, before each assignment, starting writing, you will meet up with your tutor. They will introduce themselves. They will say, what kind of assignment needs to be done, what kind of criteria, do you have any questions? So it's like kind of like support for you. So you know what you need to write about. They will give you maybe links where to look at it. Like you mentioned, everything is online based. So everything is through Skype. We were using Skype to communicate. Emails and meetings were through Skype. So we would meet with tutor once before each assignment. So when we've done one assignment, we send it out. We're looking through the next assignment criteria, and then we're meeting with our tutor. We're going through the new assignment criteria and asking questions, if we are not sure what to write about and what to do and where to do research, where to look for the information. The tutor would let you know what to do next in a way. If you need, for example, some question, you can contact them and they will email you back. So this is through email. But meeting, it would be like 1 hour meeting with a tutor before each assignment or assessment.
Okay. And you've mentioned role plays and you've mentioned doing a practice. So did you have a Lithuanian speaking study pal to go through role plays, which we know are a very important part of the DPSI exam?
When you start your course, obviously, it's everyone advised, and I would highly advise to find a study buddy, as we call it. I couldn't find my own language study buddy, so I met online with a Chinese-speaking Mandarin language student as well at ISL. And we actually, we were practicing together. We were trying to make it up the role plays. We were taking actually some role plays from POL website. We were looking on internet for some role plays. Obviously you don't know what your study buddy is saying in the other language. But I think this practicing together, we would check on our English language as well, pronunciation and how we're saying, where to stop, where to make a pause. We will talk about the terminology, how we do understand. We will do our own research together. We were doing the role plays together in English and our own languages, but we would discuss a lot and we will do a lot of research together.
That's just really cool. That's really wonderful, because I recommend to find a study pal, but like you said, it's not always possible. There aren't always students who are preparing for the particular exam in a particular language, but it's just so amazing that you found someone to actually study with, because it's always more fun and it's always nicer to have someone to study with rather than just cram by yourself. So that's really great. Thank you for sharing this tip. I hope our viewers will consider getting a pal, maybe not in the same language pair if it's not possible, but just to keep each other company and, like you said, do research together and study together, which is great. Tell us, Kristina, how is the actual qualification obtained? So you've mentioned assessment, so you've mentioned role play. Are there any, let's say, exam-like activities, or are there any activities where your live interpreting and translating performance is actually being assessed?
Yes, we did have 3 role plays, one related to court, one related to police, and one related to prison and probation. I think we call it an exam as well, to be honest, because we had invigilator and we had the language specialist, and you just were in the role of interpreter. So you were like, it's a normal role play, how you would do in normal day life job. They marked us and during those 3 role plays, and the role play consisted of consecutive interpreting, and I think it was about 30 minutes consecutive interpreting. Then it was simultaneous interpreting. It was to and from English language, which is 5 minutes each. And then we had side translation to and from English, yes. And I'm not sure, I can't recall correctly, but I think some of the role plays would have 2 side translations, which is from English and to English. And some of them just had only from English and the other just to English. I can't recall this, but it's definitely the side translation. And after that, I think after it took 2 weeks to mark them, and they will send us a sheet with the marking, and it was marked, I think, A, B, C, D. So is the A is the highest, B is a little bit lower, and B, if you will get all these, this means you didn't pass. You need to retake that exam or assessment. If you have all A's or A's and B's, you pass, it's fine. If you have a lot of C's, this is a borderline as well.
Okay.
You might need to retake it. But what is a good thing that we getting feedback as well. If you receive all A's, you won't have a feedback. But if you receive like a B or C, you will have a written feedback. What you did wrong, where you need to look again into it. What, for example, equivalence, you used not correct equivalent. You paraphrased wrongly, what it would be better in that way. I mean, it's quite a nice, decent feedback where you can prepare for the next role play to look into it and to try to improve yourself. That was for role plays. And then we had 2, I do call them exams because it's a draft written exam, and it's called exam actually. Yeah, we called it exam. And it was, one exam was from English to Lithuanian or the language, and the other exam was from Lithuanian to English. Each of them, it was 1 hour, and they had 2 parts, part A and part B, to translate this written translation. They were, I think it's related to police, courts, immigration, and probation and prison. Because it's changing all the time, so you literally, you don't know what you're going to get. I guess it's the same with DPSI, really. You don't know what you're going to get in every exam.
Yes, you're right. You do get the topics for the role play, but you don't get the translation topics. That's very correct. Thank you for this, Kristina. So, when it comes to that final assessment or this exam, as you called it, can you retake it multiple times, or how many retakes are you allowed if perhaps you need to improve on something the next time you take it?
I think it was allowed once to retake.
Okay.
And then you will. I never needed to.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
But as far as I remember, it was once. You allowed to retake once, and then I think you need to pay again. I might be wrong. I don't want to say anything in that regard, but I think it's once you can retake.
Okay. Basically, was it a stressful experience for you to sit the exam, or was it quite relaxed? What was it like?
I think it's still stressful.
Okay.
But for some reason, I think it's easier to do the job. To go
Okay.
to the job and do the job. This
Okay.
is the easiest way. But I think because someone is assessing you and you can feel, you can see even the making notes, everything is online. The exam actually was on Skype, I think, at the time. And you can see the reaction of invigilator, you can see the reaction of the language specialist. And you can see, when they're making notes, later on you're realizing they're just making notes just to make how to mark it and everything. But for you, it seems that, they're doing. But I would say it's just a little bit relaxed, I think, atmosphere, because you're sitting in your home.
Okay.
You live more relaxed because your home, I think everyone feels relaxed.
Yeah.
Then to go to the center and do that. It wasn't that bad, I think. For written part, you don't have time to think, to be stressed. There is no time at all to think about this. So you're just getting on with your translation and that's it.
Okay, that's great. I think being able to sit the exam at home I think it's quite a big advantage. If you don't have to travel, you don't have to worry about railway strikes or your car breaking down or something.
Oh, yeah.
So that's very good. And what made you sign up to do the DCI in the first place, Kristina?
Yes, I think this is the fear of the exams.
Okay.
We've still been assessed and everything.
Yeah.
And I think the other reason, I was more keener to do research. I like doing research. And I think by doing DCI, I will learn more. It will give me more time to do my research, to look into it, to maybe to talk to colleagues and everything, I found quite a bit of colleagues to talk to.
Okay.
While I was studying, which was really helpful. Yeah, I think it's learning how you learn, because every time off you write in the assessment, I need this one, I need this one. It's like it's never stop researching, because you find more and more information which is useful. And you need to use everything, and then you need to make it shorter. And this helped me with my terminology, and obviously with knowing two countries. I think this is another important thing, to know both countries' justice system, how police work, both countries. To be honest, I never knew how it works even in my own country, police, those ranks and everything. And here I was more aware what is happening here rather than in my country. So it's very interesting to compare things. It was really good for me. I enjoyed that.
That's brilliant. I'm so glad that it worked for you. And tell us, Kristina, who would you recommend this qualification to? Is it worth doing a level 6 qualification, in your opinion? And who could benefit from obtaining it?
I think I would recommend to everyone who has fear exam, because like I said, it's a little bit more relaxed. It's a little bit more relaxed in certain way. Even if we call it exam, it's still a little bit more relaxed. And at the end of the day, you're getting feedback, what you did wrong and where you need to improve. I think this is quite a good thing, to learn about yourself, how you're doing, how you're interpreting and where you need to improve. It's a plus for me doing DCI, really. Those who like actually sitting and writing big essays, so who likes researching, to learn about differences as well, to maybe more time to research terminology, and, to have a feedback from a tutor as well. I mean, to have time to have a study buddy. But I think it's more or less the same as DPSI. I'm not sure, because I haven't had DPSI, so I don't know how it works. The reason why I've chosen DCI as well at the beginning, I didn't say, because I've been told that DPSI, you got the date of the exam and then you need to prepare yourself everything.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like more or less no guidance, no research. You
Yeah.
need to do everything yourself.
Yeah. That's how this works. You can basically you sit the exam, and if you pass, you have to have a minimum of pass. That's the lowest passing rate for all the mandatory core modules, which are the same as the DCI, which is simultaneous and consecutive interpreting, sight translation, and translation from and into your language. So it's the same.
Yeah, so I think what I wanted to mention as well, because when we had on DCI course every Wednesday, I think every Wednesday, we used to have a meeting with one of the tutors.
Okay.
So when you're writing your assessment, if you have any question about something, you're meeting up every Wednesday and you're getting advice, you're getting information, what you need about writing, you're getting explanation how it works and what you need to do next and where you need to look for the things. I mean, you're getting that support every Wednesday, which I used it every Wednesday as well. I attended it and it was really helpful for me.
That's really good to have that basically hand-on support that you can ask questions and get that clarification. That's really great. And in terms of your work prospects, in terms of the quality and the quantity of work that you were able to obtain after getting that qualification, the level 6 DCI, how did it change for you? Did you notice a marked increase in the volume of work and the type of work that you wanted to do after you obtained the qualification?
I think qualification itself has gave me a lot of confidence, things, and that you're aware of the things and you know how to behave in certain circumstances and in certain area, which is great, really. This is what you need if you want to be a confident interpreter. And yes, volume of the work increased, I would say. Everyone probably is interested. Yes, better rates for hourly rates.
Yeah.
I think everyone needs to know that.
Yeah.
Obviously, it depends on an agency. I didn't have an issue to talk to my local agencies and ask them to increase, and they agreed, and there's no issues at all with that.
That's great.
Yeah, certain agencies won't agree.
Yeah.
They have their rates, Aggie yourself this.
Yeah.
That's no secret to everyone. But I think what it gave me opportunity to register with NRPSI and to be regulated, which is important, really. It gave me opportunity to register with PAID, obtain MPPV3, which I always wanted to work as police. I said it previously, I have a keen interest. So I've got to work with the police, which I do enjoy. It's a wide range of work actually you're getting, mental health hospitals. I think when they're asking for an interpreter, I think they're looking for more qualified. So interpreter needs to be confident in what they're doing and knowledgeable, to have all the correct knowledges, terminology and everything. And I think that's increased in certain areas as well, like court jobs. It's more court jobs, more probation work. I would say yes, in my experience, it is increased workload.
That's wonderful. And you've also mentioned being an NRPSI registrant, which is very, very important, and it does really come with its own benefits. But before I'm going to move on to asking you for 3 best tips for learners and students who want to obtain the DCI, you've mentioned at the very beginning, Kristina, that you have been appointed as one of the directors of the Association of Interpreters and Translators, AIT. Could you tell us just in a few words about this membership organization and what does it offer its members and what does it do for our community?
Obviously, I think I might be a little bit biased, but it's a wonderful,
Fair enough.
I'll tell you the reason why I'm biased, because actually I found IIT when I was studying DCI. So I've got an opportunity to be their student member, which is absolutely amazing. So while you're a student member, you don't need to pay for membership.
Oh, wow.
Yes, you're registering a student member and you have an access to all their CPDs. Now, CPDs is like continuous professional development. They are really good. They helped me a lot because we were talking, it's about everything. It was there about mental health, about the impartialities. Mike Orloff was there as well, represent NRPSI. We talk about counterlanes. We're talking about domestic violence. It's a lot of interesting webinars, which is really helpful for our profession. While I was studying DCI, I was a student member. And then when I finished my course, when I received my qualification, I still had 6 months free webinars with the AT until I registered with NRPSI AT, taking in members who are registered with NRPSI or they have paid, so one or the other or both.
Okay.
Or if you are in the process of NRPSI, you just need to email chairman and ask if that would be okay, because I would say they're looking after their members. We provide one of the best things, which is reflective practice. The new thing, provide supervision. For interpreters, obviously you need to pay for it, but it's different for members and for non-members. I think this is very useful because reflective practice, you can have it in groups or you can have person. We support our members, not only with CPDs. We support our members with anything they need to really.
That's fantastic. I'm just so happy to hear, and hopefully our viewers will also be more keen to look at the AIT with its very generous offering of free membership or free access to CPD for students. And you have mentioned about something incredibly interesting, which is supervision and reflective practice. These are new topics that are appearing in the world of public service interpreting. Can you tell us a bit more about this?
Like everyone knows that our profession is quite lonely, to be honest, because all we do, we need to stay confidential all the time. We need to stay impartial. We don't work in group most of the time. We work lonely. So sometimes as an interpreter, we feeling isolated, stressed, not appreciated or recognized as a professional. Actually, we have a lot of pressure. We can feel exhausted without being able to take break because we need to work. If we are not working, we are not getting anything, isn't it? So that's why IIT is providing supervision and reflective practice as well. The supervision allows practitioners to reflect on their practice in a confidential and non-judgmental, open and honest space in a mutually respectful professional manner. It creates dedicated space and time to reflect on any decision you've made and to discuss any issues you have, emotions and dilemmas which arise in your practice. So you have like a safe space where you can talk about your dilemmas, about the issues, and it's simply not to be alone and to understand that you can share with someone those thoughts, which is, I would say, is quite helpful. Because sometimes when you're opening up and you're talking to someone, you're making those decisions how to do better and you're learning. It's the same with the reflective practice. If you will have a reflective practice in groups, you will have like maybe 3 to 4, I think, interpreters, and you will have each of interpreter could present their dilemma, and the rest of interpreters will listen to it. Obviously, everything in confidential manner, no names, no places or anything. It's just simple, the story, what happens and how they felt. And the other interpreters would listen to it and they will comment on that dilemma, what they would do. I would give advice. And then it's up to that interpreter to decide what he's going to do later in that circumstances. But I think we had a couple of CPDs about the supervision and the reflective practice. We're always talking about it. And I think as professionals, we need to try it and see. Not every professional will be happy with one supervisor. We call it as a supervisor. They need to try another one and see. They need to find that safe space and safe person to talk about it. They need to feel comfortable about it, about those dilemmas to share. I think it's useful. And I think for going forward, I think we should have it. It's helpful because of the sheer thing that we are lonely as an interpreter, to be honest. You can't tell everyone what happens to you today, for example. You can't share it on media or this and that. It's better to do this in a safe place. That would be my opinion.
Thank you so much. This is incredibly important and valuable piece of information for Kristina. Thank you so much. You are completely right. It is important to have someone to share your experiences with in a confidential and safe manner, because our profession is very lonely, like you said, and we do experience very often that it's even more difficult to deal with some of the content that you come across if you have to do with it by yourself on your own. So for anyone who's interested in the membership in the AIT, I suggest you speak to Kristina. I'm sure she will be able to advise you and guide you. And also you can find their Facebook page. They are very well publicized. They do regular CPD. I have attended some of it. It is really good. So check them out. And the last but not least, Kristina, could you share with us 3 top tips for anyone who would like to obtain the DCI qualification? Thank you.
I always say, believe in yourself. This is the main for me. Believe in yourself. And if you really want something, you will achieve it. So for DCI, I think the main thing, learn and manage your time with the assignments, which is very important in order to submit work in time and actually to finish course in time overall. The other main thing is to enjoy it. Enjoy it while you're doing research, enjoying while you're doing your glossaries. Just enjoy and learn. I think when you're enjoying, you're learning more. And try to find a study buddy. This is another thing. This is crucial, I think, because the study buddy will boost your motivation. You will be more interested in doing things together. You will have someone to share even the assignment, what to do, what to write, how you would do, how it's in your country. Again, it's knowing the other cultures as well, which is very important for our profession, I would say so. And the other thing is never be afraid to ask anything. There is no stupid questions. Anything you need, anything you don't understand. Tutor is always weekly sessions, questions and answers sessions. They always go there and ask. And if you want to sign up, if you like doing research, if you would like to learn more, if you would like to be better, I think that is the best way to sign up for DCI.
Thank you so much. I love what you said about believing in yourself. I think this is incredibly important, and it's going to be something valuable and useful to work on, not just before the exam and before the qualification, but just in your professional life. Asking questions, I think it's just something that really should be like a second nature to interpreters, really, even when you have the qualification already and even when you are a working linguist. If you're not sure, I always say ask, don't guess, ask. Thank you so much for this interview, Kristina. I'm so happy I've managed to talk to you. For those of you who are maybe looking for a friendly, nice space to share and chat with other colleagues, maybe ask about qualifications, maybe look for a study buddy, I recommend the Linguists Cafe UK. It's a group managed by Hiba Beya, and Kristina is a very frequent contributor. I really like her silly Saturday memes. They're very funny. I always look at something really funny and like, yeah, that's Kristina's. It's a Facebook group, and you can look for it. I will be placing the address in the video description as well as the AIT's address, so you can have a look at the CPD offerings. You can also find them on the NRPSI's website. There is a special section for CPD, and the NRPSI also publishes the frequently free events by the AIT, so check that out.
You can find everything on Eventbrite as well. Yes, there is all CPDs will be.
Of course. Thank you so much. That's a very good point. Eventbrite is a free portal that lists all manner of CPD events, both online and in person, and you can find the AIT. I will place that in the video description. Thank you so much for reminding me, Kristina. So you can follow AIT and you will get an email with the information about the next upcoming event. So again, thank you so much, Kristina. Ačiū viso gero. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, have a lovely evening.
Thank you so much. You too. Bye-bye.